Hello everyone, I'm going to be making an updated guide on how to defend Adun. I don't want to bore you. A lot of these videos tend to be too long and too boring, so I'm going to try to be very fast. Please go to timestamps in the video's description if you want to go directly to a certain point of the map. Before I do anything, I am going to explain the callouts, and I'm going to start with P1, but just so you know, as a disclaimer, I'm going to be doing this from the defender's perspective. I will not be teaching anyone in this video how to raid the map or what the callouts would be for the raider team. Okay. So objective is to get this payload into that room and capture it. This, of course, is payload. That is raider spawn right there. If we come here, we have P1 gate. Up here is spawn balk. I will tell you how to get there in a moment. This is right balk, or sorry, this is not right, not for us. This is raider balk or left balk because we spawn over there. This is right balk, and that is main balk. Over here we have sewers. Raiders can come in through sewers from over there, but that almost never happens. Over here we have sewer gate. This will open during P2, but can also be opened with a button inside. This is sewer door. Not exactly, but this is how we get to sewers. Over here is main vent. This vent will drop you onto main balcony. Whoever joined the VC, please don't talk. Sewers is up here. If you come up here, this was previously called mid vent. This is now called Rigby vent. Going Rigby vent is not available for raiders until P2, but we are always able to access it. This will drop you on the back of P2. This is main balk. You get there by taking a left out of spawn in front of vent access way. In vent access way, you can also drop over here. This is right balk drop. Whenever you drop out of a vent, make sure that you do not walk out of it. You have to crouch into it. If you walk out of it, you might do that. So make sure you are crouching when you do that. If you go past this vent drop, it will take you to a flank area, which will eventually bring you to spawn balk, which was rarely used, but in case you need to know where that is, that's where it is. Okay. The payload will be right here, and once the raiders capture it, during this phase, if they capture it and get their team onto right balk, the phase is pretty much over. So, how do you set up? There are two main ways of initially starting this phase. The traditional way, and I would say probably the default way, is full team off spawn runs down this vent and drops and shoots them coming up right here. You will get there at about the same time, although if a raider team knows what they're doing, they will probably get there first. If you are somehow able to manage to win this fight right here, I would recommend going in the corner and just holding this. But what I like to do, and I think is probably better and more new, is I full team main balk. And what you do is you set up 6 here, 6 here. Recon will be playing wherever he wants. You have 1 medic on this side, 1 medic on this side. You split the doors, and you only shoot payload. You only shoot payload. You don't peek right balk. You don't peek left balk. You can shoot the cross a little bit if you want, but you're mainly playing payload. You want to delay payload as long as possible. They will go main vent, and they will drop on balcony. You have to be ready for that. Have someone scroll out and look at it. You can't scroll out and look at the vent. And kill them, and then look at payload again. That's the two main initial setups. There really isn't any other viable setup. Now, if they do end up taking terminal, and they have all their team on right balk, there's some retakes that you can do. The primary retake, and my personal favorite, is you have to take right balk, and to do that, you would send your 4 or 5 best players to go right balk vent drop, and the vast majority of your team, the bulk of your team, the rest of your team, other than your recon, will go sewer door. Sewer door will rally here, push all the way in, and get to this corner and fight in their push. Right as sewer team gets to about here and starts taking gunfire, you want the vent team to drop and shoot them in the back. Do that once or twice. Try to get picks. If you get a decent amount of picks, you can either immediately go for term drop, or you can send full team sewers and try to capitalize on those picks. That's for a right balk take. After you get those picks on right balk, the best way to retake terminal is to do so with your full team. You want to rally your team, do not peek on a main balk, sit right about here so that they cannot call you out and they cannot see you. And then you want to get your full team to drop onto this ledge. You will medi push only heal to this ledge, sit right here, and then go onto term. Now, capturing term is extremely important. Your team must know how to do this properly. I will show you. When you're capping the payload as a defender, you want to crouch on the ground like this and stick your head into the side of the payload. It is crucial that you understand you have to be inside these 2 barriers. You cannot cap the payload from here, and you cannot cap or move the payload from here. Apologies, give me one moment. Okay. So make sure you're crouched on the side of the payload, lined up, head to head, like this, healing the person to your right. If you're all the way on the right, then you heal the person to your left. It's very simple. You will die. Do not shoot. Do not jump. Do not move. Do not push. You're supposed to die. Anyways. Now, that's the payload retake. If you're struggling to do that, you can send 5 assaults, your 5 best assaults, and your recon to go far left of main balc, and then 6 people capping term. And what happens is the 6 people will drop, and then the left team will just beam back at right balc and stop them from peeking your term team. One of the sneakiest ways to cap term is to send a massive team sewers, about 9 people. You want to send a massive sewers, and they sit at the door, and then you send 2 people, probably your medics, to come here and sneakily drop down on the ledge and go for a term retake without anyone seeing, because the right balc team will be focused on the sewers push. As soon as the right balc team starts shooting at your dropping team, sewers will push behind them. That is very sneaky. It almost always works the first time, but it cannot be repeated. They will be looking for it, so do not put all your eggs into one basket. Save that for when they're not expecting it. And that is pretty much it. There's a lot of room for tricking. You can send a team like flank to go spawn balc and come up here and shoot them in the back. That is another thing you can do. There's a lot of different things you can do, but those are the basics, and don't get too worried if they flawless. This is a very raider-sided phase. There's not much that you can do. Anyways, I would recommend moving to phase 1, or phase 2, I mean. Phase 2, at about a minute. I'd recommend going to phase 2 at about a minute. Minute on term. That's my recommendation. So phase 2, to get to phase 2, you simply walk out and go here. This is phase 2. This is F2, phase 2. This is F1. And I'm going to go over callouts first. So first important callout, this is the most important callout, is warp room. Warp room here. This will warp you up to the top of F2. Balcony is over here. I could F3X this so that you can see what this looks like. Okay. This will be open for P2. This is P2 balc. They will send a flank here. Down here we have midgate. This will also be open for P2. Midgate's another way to get into F1. Mid-vent, like I said, is over here. Mid-vent is extremely important. The way that raiders usually win the F2 push is by flanking mid-vent. You have to be hyper aware of it. If they drop here and you're not ready for it, they will kill all of you and you will lose. This is Q balc. This is Q balcony. You can see that because it says Q access way. This is defender balc over here. And that's pretty much it for P2, although there is truss if you want to flank. You can come up this truss, and this will drop you into mid-vent if you want to drop mid-vent. This is Slungus Vent. It's not open, but there is a drop. It'll drop you on the far back right side of F2. Owl Drop is for P3. Don't worry about that. Inshallah is the one that you're going to be using most of the time. This will drop you onto balcony. And then, of course, pushing to the left room. When the leader says left room, this is what they mean. You can flank F2 from here as well. Now, initial setup. There's 2 ways of doing this. The first way is to play pushed up on warp and to play hyper aggressively and not let them in. You would set up people on these pillars and on balcony. This makes you very vulnerable to a mid-vent flank, so just be aware of that. Although you could have somebody playing like maybe these pillars here, a couple people to watch mid-vent and try to fight warp head on. Another way is to set up on the back pillars primarily. Set up here, here. You have a medic and your best assault, medic and a good assault. 2 good assaults here. Have a balcony team. It's really important that you have a balcony team. You want like 2 or 3 people with a microphone on balcony. This is super, super important to watch balcony, make callouts, and fight the warp push. But generally, the initial setup is not that important. I would just recommend playing one side of F2. So if you're going to play the front, play the front. If you're going to play the back, play the back. Now, another thing that you can do is at the beginning of P2, when they drop over here and start pushing warp, because they will have to, you can set up your team right here, and you can shoot them in the back as they go through, and then once they get up warp, you can fall back to your positions. It's not necessary, although it is really good, especially in elite lobbies. But if you think your team is slow and doesn't really know what they're doing, then I would not recommend it. That's F2. Now, the Raiders can hold a lot of different ways. There's a lot of different ways the Raiders can hold. If they hold F2, be happy. If the teams are balanced, this is a good thing. Now, an F2 hold will only work if the Raider team is significantly more skilled than the defender team. But if the teams are balanced and they do an F2 hold, that is awesome. You want that to happen, that's great. It's very hard. It's very easy to break. You just use the vents. You just move. First thing I would recommend that you do is go to the left room, set up a team here. A lot of you will die. Whoever dies in that push will simply go up the truss and go to Inshallah and drop behind them. You can also drop mid vent. You can also go steep. I forgot to mention steep. Steep drop over here. We'll flank F1, P2. You can go steep and go warp and flank from there. It's just try a bunch of different things. Flank their team if they're doing an F2 hold. It's not that difficult. If it's hard mode, this is closed for normal mode, but if it's hard mode, this will be open. This is Slungus Vent. Now, that's not what's usually going to happen. If it does, then you should be happy. What's usually going to happen is the entire Raider team is going to play P1. The reason why is because you get a really, really nice angle onto payload, which will be right there. From P1, they will be playing on these crates right here, and possibly right here. Now, a perfect P1 hold involves the Raiders putting people on main balk to watch main balk, and putting people on right balk to watch right balk, and then the rest of their team on the crates. If the Raiders get the perfect hold, and they have all flanks accounted for, you are probably screwed. There really isn't much you can do. But generally, for a P1 hold, if you want to break it and drop on term, you want to come P1 and split your team about half and half, main balk and sewers. Half of your team goes main balk, half of your team goes sewers. You sit on main balk and you go right balk and you shoot their team in the back on these crates. If they're holding right balk very heavily, you can go all the way around and flank over here to spawn balk, drop here, and shoot them in the back. If they're holding on these barriers right here, you can go onto main balk and drop off and slam them. Drop off here, and it's not that hard. This is not a good position to play. I would not recommend this, but Raiders sometimes will do it. But if they're all holding P1, you just flank P1 using your positions. You can also use sewer gate. This will be open for P2 if you would like to use it. But yeah, if they're holding P1, flank P1. It's that simple. Split your team. Not complicated. And then once you kill them, you can either respawn your team or you can run through P1, go warp, and etc., and drop on term. Now, when you drop on term, I would recommend having people stay here on the ledge and shoot down on payload when they go for a recap. Okay? Yeah, so then you can pre-fire a cubby. There will be most of the time there will be Raiders sitting here and waiting to get on term. But yeah, you need to have people staying here usually to fight the recap. If it's overtime, then you can full team drop on it, and there's nothing really much that the Raiders can do. Okay, that's P2. Now we go to P3. In order to get to P3, you take this tunnel right here, which will take you to P3 balk. You can set a P2 flank team and play force field, although I don't really do that. The initial setup, I'll do callouts first. This is P2 balk. This is tower. Towers here. We call this area tower. This is force field. This is called force field. We call this Raider force field if they're here. Over here, we don't really have a call out for this area, but I call it bottom gate or main gate or gate main. But this really here is gate main right here. This is gate controls. You have to keep this closed. This will open that door. If this is open, Raiders get really easy reinforcements into here. And gate vent is over here. Gate vent is this way. You come over here. You drop here, and this will take you into a. This will take you into. This will. Sorry, I got stuck at a wall. This will take you into a vent above gate, which you can either drop here and go main, or you can drop right here and flank gate. If the Raiders get their full team into gate, the phase is basically over. You're just going to be sitting here doing nothing for about 10 minutes. This is Term Room, Raider Room, whatever. Over here is Hill. This is called Hill. And this is called Juno Finesse. I'll explain that in a second. So, how do you initially set up? Default is to have your Recon Tower and your team split between here and here on Force Field. Then you send your 2 or 3 best assaults to go P2 flank. The way that you do that is you have them sit above mid-vent waiting. Once the Raiders drop down here and come here, your P2 team will drop out of mid-vent, come out here, and shoot them in the back. Simple as that. And the rest of your team sits here and does this. When they start pushing this way, you want to focus fire their back. Once they get there, you need to run back immediately and get into gate, because if you do not, they will win gate and you will lose. So you're trying to, if you have a really good team, it's an elite team, you're trying to get picks on the cross there with your P2 flank team and your team force field. And then once you get some picks, you can run back into gate, and you want to hold on the first pillar and the first force field and preemptively swing. The moment they start pushing, you need to full swing. Don't pop shot, don't jump peek, full swing and shoot. You have to full swing and shoot, okay? And you kill them, and that's it. Secondarily, you can just set up immediately with your full team in gate, with your team on force field and with team on the barrier and on the first pillar, and your recon and tower shooting them in the back. And you can just full swing when they push, and there's really not much they can do. They're pushing a choke point, and you're full swinging and pre-firing them. They really can't do much. If you preemptively swing properly, then there's physically nothing that they can do, and they are screwed. Now, if they do end up getting turn, and they don't have gate, then you usually do what is called Juno Finesse. Juno Finesse involves about 3 or 4, maybe 5 people, depending on how many they have in turn room. You will drop to this crate, heal up, go to this crate, heal up, and then go to payload, which will be right here, and you cap it. If they're playing a lot on this side, on hill, and over here, then I would recommend setting people Avian. What is Avian? Avian is the vent I showed you before. If they're playing in turn room, this is great to flank turn room. You come up here, and you go all the way down into these vents, and you go owl drop. It used to be called Avian, it's called Owl now. So if someone says Owl, that's what we're talking about. And it flanks you here, and you can flank gate like that and shoot them in the back. That's if they're holding in turn room. You can also go force field, you can come main, you can do a lot of things over here. But be aware that they will be coming P2 back and they will shoot you. Now, a Raider team is not trying to hold in turn room. They are trying to hold in gate. He who controls gate controls the terminal. So once the Raiders get into gate, you really got to try to get them out. Now, if the Raiders get a full team in gate and you're fighting for it, you probably lost, but this is how you are supposed to do it. If they get their full team into gate, you usually send your team vent and just get picks. Just you can go full team vent, you can trick them and go main. By the way, you can shift lock over here and see where they are in case you want to call out where they're going. And you just want to keep dropping on gate and getting picks until you're able to get enough that allows you to full team gate main and go across. Now, if gate is open, then they'll probably have a bunch of people sitting here on hill. And what they will do is they will shoot right here and get a bunch of damage on you before you even start your push. So, be aware of that. You definitely want to keep a recon, maybe 1 or 2 assaults holding reinforcements, because if they're just going to reinforce who you're killing, then it's pointless. But try your best to hold gate. The whole objective of P3 is to just hold gate, take gate, because once you have gate, you can then start killing them in turn room, closing the gate, stopping the reinforcements, and playing for term. So that's the objective. Play for gate. Gate is the objective. That's what you need to control. That's the basics. That's pretty much Adun in a nutshell. Not that complicated. Actually, that's a lie. It's pretty complicated. It is pretty difficult. This map requires a very big brain, requires a lot of intelligence, a lot of leadership, and a lot of coordination. But if retail normals can learn it, then anyone can learn it. So, yeah. That's it.